Okay, watch this video and I'll be back with my reaction on this video. Thank you.
Before you try and take the credibility of the Bible away, what do you believe about the Bible? Because
you know what,
I don't want us to talk about the Bible. I want us to talk about the Bible with respect.
Okay, remember we started off from the beginning answering the belief question.
Exactly.
We said we don't believe.
Yeah.
We deal with knowing, factual, and evidence. So when you keep trying to say, do you believe it? We already told you that we don't deal with the belief of it. We deal with the facts of it.
Okay, you believe in...
Are there facts in the Bible then?
Well, okay, first and foremost, how many books make up the Bible? 66. Who told you that?
I've looked at the Bible myself.
But what about if I told you that was canonized? You know what canonized means?
Does that word come from Canaan?
No. Canonized means when the Nicene Council came together, they had a whole bunch of books and they took what they preferred and compiled it together. That's called canonization.
So there are many books you don't know about because they didn't put them in that book for you to know about. And when you put the pieces, it's like trying to build a puzzle. You got all the pieces, someone has hidden a few pieces, so you can't finish the picture.
Okay, now, if you watch that video, you realize that it was talking about Christian canonization, how the Bible was canonized. Now, the way he went about it was not actually the reason or the way it was canonized. We're not denying that the Bible was canonized, and yes, there were other books that were there. The question is, why did they set for the 66 books? I think our African debaters did not do justice as regarding how the Bible was canonized and why those other books were not included in the 66 book of the Bible. First, we have to note that the Jews already had their books canonized. The argument now is with the New Testament canonization. The Nicene people were not canonizing the Old Testament books. The Jews already did that. They were doing it for the New Testament books, like the 27 books we have, making it the 66. Now, first, the Jews already established their own, their 39, and they rejected their Apocryphal book, like the Tobit, the Judith, the Maccabees, and the rest like that. They rejected it for many reasons. Number one, they were written by fake authors. Number two, they were not inspired. For whatever reason, they rejected it. The Jews actually rejected those books. Now, so let's now come to the New Testament. So these other books that were existing: Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Barnabas, Gospel of, as many Gospels as we have, Gospel of Jesus' wife. Different Gospels are there. I can even go deeper into them individually, but I don't want to do that now. Let me explain this now. The reason why we have those 27 books rather, we have in the New Testament is because, let me even give you the parameters. The reason how they canonize these books is not because they just decide to pick the one they like and throw away the one they don't like. That's not what happened. What they did is that first, the book must have been written by the apostles or close associated to the apostles. Number one, they had to do with the dating. When was the book written? Was it during the lifetime of the apostles? Number one. Number two, who wrote the book? Author. There were many books in the Bible now that was not supposed to be there. There was a book that they were contemplating removing until they found out that, okay, this person is the author. It was an apostle. That's why they left it, or it was close to the apostle. The Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The people that wrote them were either the apostles or close associated to the apostles. People that wrote Luke were closer to the apostles that were the eyewitness. It was even written in the book of Luke when you read the opening writings of Luke. And I don't know if you understand where I'm going to with this. Number one, it was written by the apostles or close associated to the apostles. Number two, I wrote some of these things down. Number two, it must agree with the teachings of the apostles. So books like the book of Jude, that Jude is not an apostle, but he agrees with the teaching. I think he was doing a defense for what Peter said. So that one agrees with the apostles. These are the parameters to which they use to establish the books that were added to the Bible canonization. Number one, it must be written, but just get it. It must have been written in the lifetime of the apostles. Number two, it must be written by the apostle, a close associate to the apostle, somebody that the apostle directly mentor or is close to the apostle to have written it. Number three, it should not contradict the thing that the apostle said. Just understand, get the logic. If this person was an eyewitness, he hears Jesus firsthand, and he writes a book, do you think that if somebody comes later on to write something different from what this apostle said, we should accept it? No, that's the way it is. So that's the sense to which they remove those ones. Not because they were trying to be biased and somebody is trying to fill up. That's not what they were doing. They were looking at it and says, this one is coming later on, it's contradicting this thing that the apostles already established, as that the early Christians already believed. Number four, it must have gotten widespread acceptance by the early Christians. Now, the early Christians, sorry, I wrote them down so that I won't forget my thoughts in responding to them, because I can be saying many things and I'll not establish my thoughts. I get to my point. So, widespread acceptance by the apostles. Sorry, by the early church. The early church were the people that were existing, and they were things that they passed on to the younger people. So when we look at them and say, okay, this number one, the gospel have been established, they believe the apostles writing. It has, for example, the book of writings of Paul, some of the writings of Paul were very popular during these times. Even when we come down to the New Testament, to the 7th century and the other century where the Islamic group came up, they were still responding to some of these writings because they were very popular amongst the early Christians and they were passing on to themselves. So I'm saying all this thing to say that, let me not even go too far, because if I'm going to list them, there are a lot of reasons why. But let me just say this. Number one, the reason why they did all these things is to remove people begin to come up and begin to write books and ascribe the name of people. For example, the book of Enoch. The book of Enoch was not written by Enoch in the Bible. The book of Enoch, even though it has some things in it that make people argue that this thing should be, but it actually was not written by the people. Was not written by Enoch in the Bible. Number one. Number two, the book of Enoch contradicts many things in the Bible. It contradicts many things in the Bible. The book of Enoch came later on. The Gospel of Thomas came later on, even though they say it's the lost Gospels, but it came many years after the disciples have died. And when we look into the writings of the Gospel of Thomas, many of the languages used there were not existing during the time of the apostles. Even with the translation, they were not existing. I can't even go deep into many of these things. They were known, what will I call it? I forgot how they call this thing. They were known heresy, yes, or something like that. They had knowledge that there were errors in them, and that's why they rejected it. The people that did this canonization were not babes. They were scholars. They know what they were doing. I hope this thing helps to explain how the canonization works. But then I'll still continue in the other part of that video in my next video. Shalom.